So I became an advisor because I feel like I am my students. I am a first-generation college student. Neither of my parents went to college. I didn't have any older siblings or anything that went to college.
I graduated in 2018. I had no idea what I was going to do, but I knew that this would allow me to grow as a professional.
I was the first one to do it all, and I had to figure it out on my own, and I didn't really have the resources to do that.
I'd heard from other people that you're never going to find another job where your boss helps you find a job after that.
I wanted to be that resource for the people that haven't experienced it themselves and haven't had anyone before them do it.
It's a mission that I really agree with.
A day in the life.
Depends on the day.
Having a bunch of students most of the time at my door with questions, papers, saying, I don't know what this is, Miss Perry, can you please fix it?
I make lists of things that I want to accomplish throughout the day, and it's usually interrupted by students coming in. But that is also what makes it really enjoyable, is that it's kind of different every day.
A lot of appointments with students, meeting with them individually or in small groups.
Working with students on the FAFSA or RDS or college applications, or all three.
That's a lot of questions.
Depending on the day, I might have class presentations, so I'll go into the actual classrooms and just give them a presentation about whatever the topic may be for the day. It could be college applications, could be things discussing how to get along with your roommates.
Mostly it's a day full of students, interacting with students on different levels.
You do it so much that by the end of it, you just become an expert on everything.
Oh man, I enjoy the students. They are so funny. They are hilarious. They are really incredible human beings, and it's really awesome to just get to hear their stories, get to hear their dreams, and get to be the person who just gives them the information and the support they need to really take steps towards those goals.
I enjoy getting to know my students the most. Not all my kids are going to go to college, so I find that getting to know my students on a really personal level has been really helpful in kind of navigating, if not college, military or workforce, and just getting to know their stories really helps me, I think, to be the most effective advisor I could.
They remind me to check my privilege every single day, so I'm super fortunate to have them in that sense as well. But yeah, working with the students is so incredibly rewarding, and I'm so grateful that I get to do this.
A lot of us, we serve in such high-need schools that the college and post-graduation navigating piece can sometimes get lost in the shuffle.
They don't have the time to sit down with every senior just to talk about what their plan is.
Whereas the college advising role, I'm pushing this information to all the students, so even the ones who maybe didn't know where to go and ask are getting that information.
So for the student, having someone that they can go to, even just to talk about their ideas.
It's really important that you're in there and that you're there to help those students, and you can answer the questions that no one else in the school can answer.
I've learned that education can really change the trajectory of someone's life, especially in a small rural town. Being able to go off to college and see something new and learn so many new things allows you to feed back into your community.
One of the main things is how there are so many barriers that are outside of the kids' control, but then there are also a lot of pathways where if you kind of mess up early on in your career in education, you're kind of already slated as a person who's not going to achieve to a certain level or anything like that.
I think I've noticed that not everyone has a lot of the same opportunities. I think that's something that I knew, but I didn't realize to what extent it was.
So what I do is I talk to kids from the lowest GPA to the valedictorian and just talk about, it's never too late to make a positive change in your life.
Going through the experience myself as a first-generation student, it was really tough, and then I had a language barrier. That made me work a lot harder to be more intentional about the students that I was reaching and ensuring that I was always making sure that everything was accessible to all of my students. So the language barrier was a huge thing that I worked to address in my community at my high school. People don't always think about as a barrier to higher education, but when your parents don't understand why you need their social security number, it's all about that too.
Advice I'd give to people considering joining the advising corps.
It's a great opportunity if you want to have some time to figure out your life in between school.
It's a wonderful opportunity. You will learn so much. Your students will impact you, even way after you're done with your 2 years of service.
I definitely think being an advisor is one of the greatest experiences you'll have, especially with the NC State Corps, because we're all in rural areas. So if you come from a city, you get to kind of see how the rural student lives.
There are lots of things I could tell people who are interested in College Advising Corps, but I think the most important thing I would tell them is to just have an open mind.
You'll be so fulfilled when you see a child who you see yourself in and they achieve so much. That'll make you feel like every day is worth it.
You will learn all these new skills that will be applicable in everything that you do after the Corps, and your students will change your life. It's the best job in the world. I couldn't recommend it more.